Okay, lower body again. We've covered the quads, the IT band, the glutes, release of the lower back, and the most awkward thing to get to with this is the hamstrings. And hamstrings tend to get tight with a lot of sitting. So here's how I do it. The easiest way is really to just lean a little bit forward. I've got my right leg extended and I'm just going to roll backwards and forwards towards the top of my hamstring. That's the meatier part, and that's usually up from the sit bone all the way down to just sort of a halfway down your thigh. Okay, it's very small, and you can make it a little bit more intense. Bring the left leg over and do the same thing. Remember, the hamstring group of muscles is actually 3 muscles. Okay, and this gets the outside one, and then just over a little bit more. That could be quite intense, especially if you are tight. Okay, and then just do the other side. That's the hamstring one. Very short and a little bit more awkward to get to, but every little bit helps. Okay, and that's the hamstrings. The next one, calves. Calves, the same thing. Account for a lot of tightness that inhibits ankle mobility, leaves you prone to a little bit of tendonitis there, or plantar fasciitis if we're not careful. So we're going to just lift ourselves up with our hands behind us. Okay, have your hands close to your butt, get a little bit more leverage, lift yourself up and just roll back and forth along around your ankles. Toes are pointing straight up right now. Okay, all the way through to the meaty part, the gastrocs, and up towards the soleus. You've done that a few times. You're going to turn your toes out. Okay, so like 10 to 2. All right, go to the across the media section again, outside of the gastrocs, all the way through, nice. And toes towards each other again, pointing, and back and forward. That's it. Okay, so that covers the hamstrings and calves. Foam rolling does tend to get neglected, but honestly, the less you do it, the more you're going to pay for it later on. So think of it as a time well invested. It's just maintenance work. You know, you take your car in to be serviced every few miles. You should do the same thing. This is sort of like your oil change kind of thing. So think of it like that. It's good to get into the habit of doing it. To start with more frequency. Once you start getting those lumps and bumps out, maintenance is just a couple of times a week. Better to do it after you're warm. You know, so after you've already worked out, after a run or a bike ride or what have you. That's probably best.